But what you are going to do is I'm going to split you up with your left row is going to be my consumers. My right row, you're going to be my producers. And in a second, we're going to go to the vending machine, and I'm going to get you to pick 3 objects, right? 3 items, whatever it is. Look, I know they're not the greatest items in the world, but just bear with me on that one, right? And you're going to tell me, my consumers, at a price of 50 cents, how many would you want to buy? At a price of 75 cents, how many are you going to want to buy, right? We're going to look in these vending machines. You're going to let you see which ones you think you would buy the most of at which prices. My producers, you guys need to keep in mind that you're after a profit, right? So what we're going to pretend with you guys is that every item in that machine costs you 50 cents to put in the machine, right? So chances are, if we look at that 50-cent one up there, are you really going to want to sell that many? No, not at that price. We don't want to, right? But at $1.50, yeah, making $1 profit off of each one, yeah, you're dang right. I'm probably going to want to do that, right? So that's what I'm going to want y'all to keep in mind. And once we get back, you and your partner, your producer and your consumer, you're going to graph these together on the same piece of graph paper, and we're going to look and we're going to see a real-life example of supply and demand. Ready? And go. Okay, so what I want you to do is pick your 3 favorite items, whatever you can from the vending machine, and tell me what you're wanting. How many would you want at a price of 50 cents? How many would you want at a price of $1? At a price of $1.50, so on and so forth. You're going to create your own individual demand curve for it. And whenever I bring the other guys down here, they're going to create their own individual supply curve for the same exact things. Then we're going to look and see what our equilibrium price would be. And we'll talk about that a little more tomorrow and later today as well. And then the next thing, I want you to kind of think about which of these items is priced the worst and be able to tell me why you think that.
All of us priced terrible.
Yeah, okay, so they're all priced terrible. But which one do you think, again, is priced worse? So if we're saying beef jerky, here would be my argument against that, though. There's only one left. So obviously it can't be priced so terribly because there's only one of them left. So if we're thinking about this, which one do you think is priced the worst then in that case? Which one of you do you think, honestly, let's think of it this way. Which one could they lower the price and probably get rid of some?
These little candy bars and little fruits.
Which ones?
Fries.
These? The little cereal bars?
Sweet and salty kettle corn.
The sweet and salty kettle corn? I can probably, any one of those, honestly, I can probably go with, because if you look in this machine, there's a bunch of them. If we look in this machine, there's a bunch of them. If we look in this machine, there's a bunch of them.
Plus during lunch they give them away, so.
Yeah, plus during lunch we give them away, so there you go. All right, so y'all two can just fight it out, I guess. I can share. There you go. All right. It costs you 50 cents to actually produce it, to actually put it in the vending machine. So obviously we already talked about it. Noah hit the nail on the head. At a price of 50 cents, we probably don't want to sell too many, right? But at a price of $1.50, on the other hand, think about that. Well, we can make $1 profit off of a bag of M&Ms or a pack of peanut butter crackers right here, for goodness sakes. So you should be wanting to sell a little more. So what I want you to do is take the 3 that your consumer chose, and I want you to tell me at each price, how many would you be willing to sell, right? How many of them would you load up in these machines at that price? And heck, it could be over here in the drink machine for all that matters, but regardless, how many would you sell? Keeping in mind, you're trying to make as much profit as you possibly can. That's the big thing about it here. We're trying to make money, so at the higher prices, we want to sell more. Right? Whoever can answer it, I asked the last group which one they thought was priced the worst, right? Well, and what they said was they thought the little candy bars and maybe those little salted caramel things were right there, because what they said is in every single machine, they're loaded, they're full, every single rack was, right? But here's my question. Which item is priced too low, and how do you know?
I'd probably say the next bar.
Do what? The granola bar? Price too low? Alright, what do you think? Pop-Tarts price too low, why?
25 cents. See them gummies?
$1.25 actually. No, they just got the little one messed up. Alright.
Beef jerky.
The price too low?
Yeah, which one's the price too low?
Beef jerky.
Beef jerky, why you say that?
Selling like hotcakes, ain't there?
Only one left? That's probably about the better answer I've heard. So how do we know the price is too low? I mean, on any object in this entire world, what do we always say? people buy too much of it, right? And the machines become a little more empty as we keep going. So, yeah, I'd probably say beef jerky. I can live with that. Well, I guess my little card thing. There you go. It's your choice.
Be jerky too, son.
Yeah, I figured as much.